right now with the head coach of the San Diego State football program, Brady Hoke. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How you doing?
I am doing great, and I am looking forward to this season. I know you can't wait to get the season started. So we got a lot of things I want to go over this morning with you, Coach, as you get ready for New Mexico State coming up here on Saturday. Let's start with the quarterback decision with Jordan Brookshire. What was the final thing that put Jordan over the top and have you starting him at quarterback at the beginning of this season?
Yeah, Steve, I as we evaluated and went through the process, all the way back from spring through the summer, and then obviously this fall camp, just the consistency that Jordan brought, and the toughness that he has from a mental standpoint, and really a physical standpoint when you look at some of the things he did a year ago as a starter for us. So it was probably as much how he played and not as much, that the other guys didn't play that well. I just, looking at it, and Jeff and I have, discussed it a couple different times, really love the way that Jordan, played during the fall and really has taken the reins.
When you think about this team, and I know, Coach, when you look at both sides of the football, the strength of this team right now, at least going into the season, is on both sides of the line. You have a lot of experience in the offensive line. I think your defensive line unit is the absolute strength of this team right now. But the idea of getting back to a dominant running game, just how much emphasis is going to be on that? And that in mind, how's that going to affect what you have planned for the passing game here in 2021?
Yeah, I think you have to play complementary football, number one. And when you're talking about offense, defense, and then the kicking game, which is such a factor. And I don't know, Steve, if you watched any games this weekend, but
yep.
There were some games that kind of teetered on poor performance in the kicking game. So I think from a team standpoint, I think our offensive line, I think our backs in general, probably on that side of the ball, those two units are the strength. I think when you look at defensively, I think you're right. I think our front seven is the strength on that side of the ball, and might be and should be strength that we have on our football team. So as we prepare, we know that, and we've got to do a great job of evaluating, looking at the weaknesses of an opponent, and really use our strengths to really take a game over or get in the rhythm of a game.
So last year in 8 games, you only had 6 passing touchdowns. What is your vision? Because I think a lot of people look at the Aztecs and know that when things are operating with what the team you set up with and what Coach Long, and now it's about the run. But teams have, if you're behind, you have to have a quarterback that can bring you back in the game. So what kind of changes are you making with the passing game to make it more efficient here in 2021?
Well, I think a few. I think, the passing game doesn't always have to be, taking a shot downfield. Now, we're going to do that. And what will really make it successful when you do that is the play action off of it and how you run the football. So that's a big part of it. But also in the RPO game, there's opportunities there that you want to take advantage of. And I would say the other thing is the screen game. We've got 6 backs, who all do things a little bit differently, but they're all really good at it. And so I'm really excited to see those guys in the passing game make some hay too.
All right, some new faces in the secondary. How anxious are you to find out how well that unit's going to play at the start of the season?
Well, really, with Taylor back, Hawkins, and Trent Thompson, and Pat McMorris. And Pat played really started 2 games for us a year ago and really played well. So, with those guys being back now, it's Noah Avinger, who's a freshman, who we're really excited about. Noah Tumlin, who's a guy who's been in the program for a couple of years. But to see those guys and how they react and how they play, we're excited about it.
Over the years, by the way, Brady Hoke joining us right now, talking about the Aztecs getting ready for their opener against New Mexico State on Saturday. When I think about Aztecs defense over the last decade or so, Coach, I think of a defense with an offensive mindset, like scoring touchdowns, not only creating turnovers, which they've done very well over the years, but getting the ball into the end zone. Is that by design? Is that an encouraged thing? Because obviously the Aztecs have done this so well over the years. And last year, I think, a couple of defensive touchdowns. But I would imagine you're looking for maybe a little more scoring from your defense this year?
Well, I think that's always, something that we emphasize. And from drill work to anytime a ball's on the ground at one of our practices, Steve, somebody's picking it up. And on the defensive side of the ball, and the goal is to pick it up and take it the other way. So that's something that the coaches that we started in 2009, to be honest with you, and have kept that. And Coach Long obviously kept that philosophy. So it's something that we believe in. You got 3 segments of football, and they all have the capability to get in the end zone.
So, obviously, the odds makers feel like you are prohibitive favorites in this game against New Mexico State. I'm sure you're not paying attention to that. But you've opened a lot of seasons, Coach, over the years. How anxious do you get for the first game? Because it's not like the NFL where you got preseason games. You might get a little sneak peek along the way or scrimmages against other teams. I mean, this is always that first look like, what exactly do we have, at least to start the season? How anxious do you get before this first game?
Oh, I don't think it ever changes. I mean, we're playing a team that's played a game, and I've always believed and always coached, whether it's an assistant or a head coach, that the greatest amount of progress or play, your play is better if you've had a game and then you're playing that second game. You'll be a better football team, and that's always something I believe. And the New Mexico State, had a tough win, a rivalry game last weekend. They really hurt themselves a little bit with some penalties and mistakes that you can't have. They've got 40 new players on their team, so it's good to see them. But I think when you look at their improvement from the first game to the second game, I think it's something that you always look at as a head football coach.
All right, now I know the team has voted on the captains, and I know you want to break the news right here on the Extra Morning Show. I know you are anxious to announce the captains. And Coach, I won't do that to you, but do you want to announce the captains? Can we announce that?
I think we should.
Oh, let's go right now. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The captains, team captains for your 2021 San Diego State football team are, Coach?
Yeah, well, the team voted on Saturday, and last night we introduced them. But on offense is Dan Bellinger, our tight end, and Zach Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys who have played a lot of snaps and have done a great job. On defense is Caden McDonald, Trent Thompson, and then Segun Alubi. And Segun Alubi is a guy who walked on here that we gave a scholarship to days ago. He's played great football for us, and a guy that we're really excited about. And there were, all the votes were so close. That's why we have 3 on defense.
Well, Coach, ever since I came back to San Diego in 2014 and reacquainted myself with the Aztecs football program, I have just been mesmerized by the young men that come on this show. Without fail. They are impressive men, and especially when it comes to those that are senior leaders. Just how do you – I mean, I've always said this about a leader. By definition, Coach, a leader is someone who inspires others to follow. You can't just say, all right, you're the leader. That doesn't work that way. They have to have something about them that inspires others to follow their lead. And it seems like year in and year out, not just the football program, the basketball program, a lot of these athletic programs at San Diego State have those character guys on the team. How much do you lean on them to really make an impact on the eventual success of the team?
Well, there's no doubt if I have to lead this team, we won't win. You know, it's got to come from the locker room, and it's got to come, and that's why we have the team vote. Coaches, we don't vote. The only thing I tell them, this is not a popularity contest. This is guys you believe in and guys that you want in your foxhole, to put it that way, or guys that, if you're in a bad situation, who would you call? Who would you trust? And so, and I think throughout our, obviously, this athletic department and San Diego State, but that's how we've always looked at it, and we're excited about our football team, excited about the work they put in, and excited about these 5 young men.
Coach, I know we're all anxious for the new stadium, which is going to be open up next season. By the way,
yes, we are.
I mean, I know you're just chomping at the bit. And by the way, the progress they're making on that stadium, Coach, I almost thought it would be ready for this season as quickly as that stadium's going up. We know it's going to be 100% ready for the 2022 season. But I do want to tell everybody out there, all right, so you're going to have to do a little traveling for this one more year before we open up that new stadium. It's going to be a full house every single game, every single week. We know that.
Yep.
But tickets are available at GoAztecs.com. And I understand, Coach, for this opening game against New Mexico State, first 10,000 fans will get a free Aztec replica jersey. And the fans play such a big part of it. You know, last year, obviously, there were no fans. You're up in Carson again, but got to get the fans out there, Coach, and it's a big part of it.
Yeah, Steve, and we hope, as the head coach, the only thing I can tell you is our guys have worked hard. Our student athletes, our players, they need you, and they need those people in the stands. And I know that they're doing a couple things here on campus with buses and trying to get students up there, but really hope that we get the Aztec Nation to come on up to Carson one more year. I know it's not what we all want, believe me, but what we all do want is to get in our own home down here in San Diego.
It's going to be spectacular, but got to support the team out there. These guys, as you say, are working their butts off to have the best season possible. So, obviously, Coach, I know your mindset going in is simple. You want to win the conference, period, exclamation point. Win the Mountain West. When you look at the overall strength of the Mountain West, what stands out to you so far, at least from what you've seen of these other schools?
Yeah, well, number one, I think there's some quarterbacks. I think there's some quarterbacks, when you look at Nevada and you look at San Jose. The guy at Fresno State really played well the other day versus UConn. And so I think there's some quarterbacks. The other skill position I think is unique is tight ends. There's some tight ends in this league that are really good, and we're lucky to have one of them. And so I'm really excited, and we're excited as a team. To get it started. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So we got to go out there and get it done.
Cannot wait for it to get started. Well, Coach, we are the proud home of the Aztecs here at Xtra 1360. We could not be more proud. Anything you need from us, we're there for you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Coach, all the best to you. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Steve. Take care.
All right, there he is, the coach, Brady Hoke, as the Aztecs will open up on Saturday against New Mexico State.